Could you use some help with your writing? I think we all can. So today on DOTTO Tech, not one, but two online writing tools that should improve your written output. Steve Dotto here. How the heck you doing this fine day? At DOTTO Tech, we make technology easy so you can do more. More what? Well, hang gliding might be fun. Sort of. Today we're going to talk about writing and written output in the online space. And this is a big challenge for me. I, for some reason, am a very poor writer. I have poor spelling skills. I have poor grammar skills. Personally, I blame it on the Catholic school system and the nuns that I was terrified of. You can make your own decision as to why I might have challenges writing. Having said all of that, these tools make me a better writer. Actually, these tools and hiring a copywriter, Sophia, who does all of the writing for our blog posts, etc., make me a far better writer than I would be were I left to my own devices. Now, in the spirit of full disclosure, both of the online tools that I'm going to be showing you today, I have a relationship with. I'm an affiliate for Grammarly. I pay for that product and use that product. And two of my kids are actually editors, live editors, for the live editing service that I'm going to be showing you, which is called editorr. So I have a relationship with both of the tools that we're going to be taking a look at today. But let's start with Grammarly, with taking a look at the tool that I use that does multiple things for me. It checks my spelling, it checks my grammar, it does that for documents, in word processing documents that I'm working on, but it also does it actively while I'm posting in social media and other places. Now, I'm going to tell you right off the top, none of these tools are going to make you a perfect writer. You'll still occasionally publish mistakes and you'll make errors, but what they do is they reduce, in my case, dramatically the number of mistakes that you or I make. Let's start with Grammarly. Now, Grammarly installs as both a browser extension and it also gives you access to a writing module within a web browser-based interface. Now, you can actually do all of your word processing work right within Grammarly if you choose, or you can copy and paste into Grammarly. This is the word processing environment, or the account within Grammarly. And so what I've done here is I've actually pasted just the rough copy of a newsletter that I wrote a couple of months ago. And as soon as you pasted it in, it gives you a quick little notification of what's going on with the document here. But the place that you're going to be working with to kind of edit and clean things up is by going into the assistant, where you can see we've got these menu items. We've got insights, goals, spelling, grammar, punctuation, conventions, variety, and vocabulary, plus some additional bonus things down here at the bottom. But let's start with grammar. What it's doing now is it's going through my entire document and it's looking for grammatical errors. Now, it doesn't catch every grammatical error, and it's not always correct in the grammatical errors that it does catch. You are going to have to make decisions yourself. But it's kind of it's an iterative process going back and forth. So here it says, all eyes are on YouTube in the online community, where on Anaheim this week was as 500. We're on Anaheim this week as 2,500 fans. And online community, we're on Anaheim this week. Well, that's right. So they think I should say in Anaheim, but it's not. In this case, all eyes were on Anaheim, so it's fine. So I can just sit here and I can say it's an incorrect suggestion. And it goes, okay, I learned from that. Well, let's continue going on. And so we can now go through the entire document, checking the spelling, checking the grammar, checking the punctuation, and you can make decisions as you go through, as it's flagged anything that it sees is a concern. This alone is going to improve the quality of your documents dramatically. As we kind of look at some of the other tools that they've got, obviously punctuation and conventions, the Insights tool is something that I find really useful. When I click on Insights, it tells me how long the document is I'm working on, how long it should take the average person to read, and this is uniquely valuable to people like me who create video, how long it should take me to read out loud, to speak the text. So as I'm preparing videos, if I'm writing a video at a time, this tells me how long it's going to take me to deliver that. It's a nice, useful little addition. How many sentences, unique words, how many rare words I use, word length, sentence length, and the readability score. Now, this is a very low readability score because we haven't actually gone through this. But as the higher quality of the documents that you produce, you'll keep pushing up the readability score. Now, these are generalities, but if you pay attention to this, you'll constantly be trying to improve your writing. You'll constantly be trying to correct your writing, and you'll constantly be trying to improve the things that you do and the mistakes that you constantly make. You will become a better writer using a tool like this over time. Now, I'm going to show you another really important tool that Grammarly brings to the table. And before that, I'm going to jump over quickly into a friend's website. I'm going to jump over to my friends at Social Media Examiner, and I'm going to take some copy and lift it directly out of their site. My apologies, Mike and team, I am plagiarizing your site right now. So I'm going to say, let's imagine that you've hired an outside writer, or you're doing research on a document, and you're copying and pasting a whole bunch of stuff into a document, and then you're writing it, and you've forgotten what it is you copied and pasted in, and you were going to kind of massage around in something that you inserted for notes, and you've kind of lost track of that. For whatever reason, you've got a whole whack of somebody else's content in a post that you're about to make. You have plagiarized. And if you're a student, of course, it's that much worse. Having said all of that, here we have a case where I've put a whole bunch of Social Media Examiner's copy in here. Now, I would notice this right away because there are pretty much no mistakes in it if we take a look at their copy as opposed to my copy. See, their copy, no mistakes. All right, having said that, watch what we can do. I'm going to click here on plagiarism, and now Grammarly is going to go out online into academic journals, web pages, etc., and it is going to download everything it can find, or it's going to give us a report on everything it can find if there's any plagiarism. And look here, 45% of our text matches two fragments from two sources. This is not good, obviously. And right here, it tells me what that source is. So it's got telling me 45% of this is plagiarized. And so now I can do something about that. So if you're hiring somebody to do writing for you, you know immediately that they've just been lifting copy. If you were creating this document yourself, you recognize immediately, oh my gosh, something that I copied and pasted in my notes has ended up in the document. If you're a student, you can say, oh my goodness, the same sort of thing happened, and you can make sure that you don't plagiarize. And of course, how not to plagiarize is you rewrite the copy for yourself, or you use the proper citation, which they give you all of the information on how to do citations here if you don't know how. As well, they actually give you a quick way to copy the source so you can cite the source in your document. So in a variety of different ways, they make it possible for you to be on the right side of the ledger as far as plagiarism goes. This is an invaluable assistant for everybody, this plagiarism checker for students and for writing professionals. I really like what this brings to the table. So overall, it's a monthly fee. I think I pay annually for Grammarly. It's a tool that, in this instance here, makes me a better writer. It improves my writing over time. It improves my writing skills, and it also protects me from making some serious mistakes that I could possibly make. Now, there's another aspect of Grammarly that it is an active writing assistant. Where I make most of my mistakes is not in actually posted documents, because we have a copywriter that works on most of our official posts, but where I make my mistakes is in social posts. If I'm commenting in Facebook, or if I'm commenting in Twitter, or if I'm creating an Instagram post or something like that, that's where I'll often make little spelling mistakes. I'm always going back in and editing and changing them. I do that less now because take a look here. This is obviously a terrible post that I'm putting together, but Grammarly is actively checking everything that I'm doing in this post, and it's giving me suggestions. And all you do is hover your cursor over top of where Grammarly underlines a note. In any writing that you do in your web browser, this works. And as I post on Facebook, it helps me a lot with making mistakes. There it is. Now, all of a sudden, I have improved. And they're even offering suggestions saying, as it looks at it now, it says, well, should this be in the past tense as opposed to the present tense? And it missed the T. It helps too. So it did miss that one there. All right. But we see that Grammarly, again, is actively checking. And if I go here into the menu bar, here is the Grammarly tool. And you can choose, you can have it choose to check spelling and grammar, different sites. But look here. It also allows you to choose British, Australian, American, or Canadian English as far as the spelling convention goes. So again, it works the way that you want to work. I like Grammarly. I've probably been paying for my subscription now for 4 years, and I don't see not paying for it every year on the horizon. It's a tool that really works well for me. Now, I'm going to take you over into another app right now, which is called editorr. Now, editorr is an online service that connects you with real human editors. Now, as I mentioned, 2 of my kids who are just finishing university or have just finished university, they do sideline work as editors in editorr. What that does is it allows you to create documents send them to real live people who can then edit your document and send it back to you. It takes a little bit longer than the process in Grammarly, but it has the advantage of having real human interaction. And sometimes people end up with long-term relationships with the same editors because they get to know their writing style, etc. Now, how it all works is basically you create the document, you submit it through an online form, and then you pay by the word. And you can buy monthly subscriptions all the way up to an enterprise level, so you can use it for a whole team should you choose, based on the number of words that you're writing and the number of documents that you're creating per month. Now, this is an incredibly convenient process, because here's the reason that this really works well. If it's important for you to have real eyes on the editing process, real human eyes on the editing process, and you want that, typically speaking, you'll have somebody else on your team editing your documents as you do them. But we live in such a just-in-time world where you really, if you create an email that you're going to be sending to someone, so this is not just for posts, but this is just for like correspondence, you can use it as well to make sure that your letter to a colleague or your letter to a potential client has been proofread. If you're writing that letter, you probably don't want to wait till somebody else on your team is available to proofread it. You can get it proofread within a much shorter time frame than if you have somebody on your team do it. You can get it done in 30 minutes or 40 minutes or whatever. They give you an estimate of how long it's going to take, because there's basically a large bank of editors always online waiting for the jobs to come in the queue, and then they grab that job, they edit it, and they send it back to you. And if you need revisions, revisions are handled under the same contract, under the same price. So it's not just a one and done as far as your editing goes. editorr gives you a little more personal service, a little more concierge service than the automated service that's provided by Grammarly. But at the end of the day, it makes your communications more clear, more efficient, more professional, and more polished. Both these services I can highly recommend. That is all the time we have for today's video. Before we go, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing and hit that notification bell so you hear about all of our new videos when we upload them. I hope you found this video to be useful, and if it makes you a better writer, if it makes you a more clear writer, and improves your online and personal communications, well, winner, winner, chicken dinner for both of us. I'd love to hear your comments, suggestions for other videos, and I do promise you one thing. I read each and every comment that is posted on YouTube, even if I don't have time to reply to every comment personally. Till next time, I'm Steve DOTTO. Have fun storming a castle.